Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Adrian. I typically upload mommy lifestyle videos, a haul here and there. I definitely love to do some pregnancy updates. Not quite yet, at least I don't think, but I'll get into that later. For this video, I just want to do a catch up, like let's talk. It's been a while and I'm so excited to be back because I seriously missed you guys. I have just been in a funk and I think I'm coming out of it. So let's get into this little update. For today's update, I really wanted to talk to you about just everything that's been going on. And for me, that means mommy of two. Weston is 2.5, over 2.5. He'll be 3 in July, you guys. It's crazy. His vocabulary is so good. Like, he has so many words. He strings sentences together without a problem. He tells stories. He remembers things that I don't remember. And he reminds me and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. That's where we left that. Or that's what we did over there. Like, even when we're driving by places, he's like, Mommy, there's the tire store. Or Mommy, there's Uncle Ed's where you got your oil changed. Like, a 2-year-old remembers these things? It's crazy. He's harder to distract than he was before. He's like gets fixated on something. Tucker is 7 months old and I'm pretty sure the last time I did an update on him, he was like 3 months. And so at 3 months, maybe 4 months, he was rolling both ways. At 4 months, he was definitely rolling both ways. And I would say around 5 months, he got 2 teeth, the bottom 2 here. And then at 6 months, he started, maybe even a little bit before, I think 5 months, he started army crawling, and he's really good at army crawling. And just recently, he got up on all fours and he's taking those full-on crawling motions. He doesn't crawl across the room that way. He still depends a lot on his army crawl, but he does a really good job and I can't believe it. You guys, Weston didn't crawl until he was 10.5 months old. So this is very different for me, so different. We started to do baby-led weaning with Tucker. Right at 6 months, he had his first taste of food, and Tucker's first food was avocado. I just sliced it up for him so he could like smush it around and kind of feel the texture of it. He really enjoyed it, and so since then, I've been putting avocado on toast, and he loves it. I would say that that is his favorite food to date, is avocado toast. He also loves peanut butter, and yes, peanut butter is something that pediatricians are recommending to give to your 6-month-old right when they first start solids. So if you're not doing baby-led weaning, our pediatrician said to like take the peanut butter powder or even peanut butter and mix it in with like oatmeal cereal. Or if you are doing baby-led weaning, you can do like a thin coat of peanut butter on a piece of toast. And that's how Tucker loves to eat peanut butter too. The other foods that Tucker is really into, he loves bananas and blueberries. Blueberries, I take them and squish them down and he can pick them up and munch on them that way. For a banana, there's this really cool trick where you can cut just this, like cut it in half, cut just a thin piece down, and then there's a bit of a banana and they can hang on to the hook of it. If you aren't following me on Instagram yet, you should be. I do a lot of stories anyway on Instagram. That's like just where I'm updating all of the time, but I do a lot of baby-led weaning ideas on Instagram too. So make sure to check out my stories. We decided on baby-led weaning for Tucker because it's what Weston did, and sort of by default, Weston did baby-led weaning. So we started with purees. For Wes, he wasn't into it. And like, I would say maybe he did a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks of purees, and he would just like, ugh. He didn't want you to put the food into his mouth. And so I started looking into other options, and baby-led weaning was the other option, or another option. So we started with baby-led weaning maybe a few weeks after Weston turned 6 months old, and at that point, he just really started thriving on food on his own, and it was all about control for him and how much he put into his mouth and what types of things he put into his mouth. For Tucker, it was just like, oh, well, that's what we'll do because that's what worked with Weston, and it will go great, I'm sure, because the boy, you could tell he was like, oh, give me that food. You could just see it in his eyes, you know? He was so ready for it. And when we first started with him, he really went to town. He gets upset if there's not food on his tray anymore. So I've asked several nutritionists that I follow on Instagram, like, how much is too much? Especially for a baby of this age. Like, does he actually know? This is all about them learning, right? Like how big their stomach is, what is okay for them and what is not. Tucker did have one night, so we had vegetable lasagna at my in-laws' house. We were there for dinner, and I'm telling you, Tucker ate like an adult-sized piece, but I was breaking it up, right? Like there was, I think it was squash or sweet potato and zucchinis and stuff in it. And so I would take those out and kind of make sure they were in good shape for him to eat, and I put them on his tray. And I did the noodles too, and he was fine. He ate a lot, and that night he paid for it. It was so bad. You could tell his tummy was hurting so bad, and I wasn't sure if it was his stomach or if it was his teeth or like what is going on here. So I did both. I felt so bad for him. He woke up and he kept waking up, and finally I was like, that's it. You're getting Tylenol and prunes and we're gonna knock this thing out. Like, and that helped, and he went back to sleep and he was okay. But he definitely ate too much of that. He's had each of those items individually before and since then, and he's been fine. He just can't have as much. So I need to sort of be on the lookout for his portions, and I'm not depriving the child of food, I can promise you. He eats probably more than Weston does, which is just outrageous to me. Like, Weston's almost 3 years old and Tucker's 7 months old, and oh well, that's how it is at our house. I never ever thought that I would have a kid that would eat me out of house and home, and I really feel like that's what's happening with Tucker. He is gonna go nuts on food when he can actually start doing most of it. And you know, with Weston, when we started baby-led weaning, he would chew. So baby-led weaning babies learn how to chew first, swallow second. So you'll see them chew things up, kind of figure out how to mash them up in their mouths, and sometimes they spit it out. With Weston, he spit out every single food item for a long time. And with Tucker, he swallows a lot, and you can hear him go, "Oop, oop." It's so weird, but the boy loves his food. So we're gonna just keep going with it. I'm also trying to make sure that he is eating just what we're eating. And I'm trying to do that with Weston too. Instead of making them something special for dinner, it's just like, well, what are we having for dinner? Here are some things that they can eat within our dinner, or here's our dinner is your dinner. And that is going pretty well. Tucker had pesto for the first time yesterday. I loved it. He loved it. So I made like this pesto tortellini, and I sliced, the tortellini were kind of big, so I sliced them in half. He went to town. It was amazing. I think we have to give babies a little bit more credit than they are getting when it comes to like their palate and what spices we can use for them. One of the nutritionists that I follow on Instagram, she was talking about like, go ahead and give them spices. It's okay for them to have other flavors. You know, maybe we don't want to give them so much salt or super spicy things, but they can taste flavor and they can enjoy it. Why not? Maybe it will help Tucker not to be as picky as Weston is. Because with him, I think we were a lot more aware of like, ooh, that seems too spicy, he shouldn't have that. But with Tucker, we're just going for it and seeing how things go, and so far, so good. As far as nursing and breastfeeding go, this is where I think a lot of you are probably going to, might be upset. Some of you might disagree. I've decided that if I'm not gonna be here, or like if I have to run an errand or something like that, Tucker's getting formula, because I'm done pumping. I do not like the pump. The pump and I are not friends. I lost a piece to the pump, and I was like, no, that's officially it. So I could easily buy another piece to the pump. That's not the problem. The problem is that really I want the flexibility to be able to go somewhere, and if I don't have this dash to do it, I mean, I'm here with him all day and I'm nursing him all day long. So if I need to pump on top of that, it gets really difficult. So I've decided that if I'm not gonna be here, he gets a bottle. Also, I'm so over breastfeeding. My goal was to go a year if I could with Tucker. With Weston, I wanted to go a year, and it was my first child, and I had no idea how hard it was going to be or how my body was going to respond. Well, with Wes, he dipped below 1% in his weight and his height, so we started supplementing with him, and the supplementing ended up, he was full formula baby by about 7 months old. He was totally formula. For Tucker, my supply seems to be there and everything is going pretty well. I just am over it. And I never thought I would say that. I thought I would really want to continue to breastfeed him and nurse him at least to 1 year. But here I am, and it's like, I'm ready to wean him. I'm ready to have my body back. And I get that some of you might think, and it is, this is me being selfish, but I'm at just sort of a weird in between, and I'm not really sure what to do. I do still nurse him most of the time, but if he's going down for a nap or for nighttime, the last couple of nights he's been getting bottles, and it's not helping with his sleep. But it makes me feel a little bit better knowing that he's had that many ounces. And I don't know, I'm at a really weird spot with this, and I'm not really sure how to move forward. I've been here for about a month. Like, I'm done nursing. I don't want to do this anymore. And I don't know, are any of you guys out there feeling that way? Like, at what point did you stop nursing your baby? I would love to know. And I would love to know what the reason was. I mean, you don't have to tell me if it's too personal or you don't want to share that information. You don't have to, obviously. But when did when did you stop nursing your baby? And I thought with Tucker, because it was my second baby and Weston was on formula for half of his first year of life, I thought with Tucker, it just wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I still feel the judgment, you know what I'm saying? Like, from other people. I would feel judged if I were to give him a bottle in public or something like that. Please share with me your stories. I need to know. I also feel like my postpartum hormones are kind of everywhere. I have taken 2 pregnancy tests in the 7 months of being postpartum because I really felt like I could be pregnant, or like I was having pregnancy symptoms, and both were negative. The other day I felt full on like my period was coming. I was getting cramps. I was just not feeling good. And I was with one of my friends and I was like, I'm definitely gonna get my period tonight. It hasn't shown up yet, but we will see. I think my hormones are leveling out at some point, and I will be getting my period soon. I will say with Wes, our first child, when I stopped breastfeeding him, like the very next month, my period came. So it might get to that point, like where my body is no longer nursing before my period comes. I know a lot of people get theirs like way earlier, some get it way later. I don't know. I kind of wish it would just show up so we could get the thing over and done with already, because that first one after baby is like the worst. It's so bad. So I'm also bracing myself for that. Okay, I think I've rambled on quite a bit. You will see Tucker in a little clip later. If he wakes up from his nap, I'll kind of bring him in and show him to you. But I do want to wrap this up. We have so many exciting things coming forward, and so here's my goal. I would like to do a sit-down video once a week. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about yet, so please give me some ideas down below. And I'm going to do one vlog once a week. I am missing seeing my vlogs going up. I love looking back on old ones. Any certain day is gonna be what it is. It's just what is working with my schedule, because these boys have been making it kind of difficult to film and definitely difficult to edit, because as soon as they go to bed, I clean up the house, I maybe watch something for 20 minutes and I go to sleep. So I need to get some sleep, but I'm putting it out there. This is my goal. This is what's happening. I want to like talk with you guys. I want to grow this family and keep this up. I put my sweatshirt on because it's so cold here. Say hi, Tucker. We are gonna be cutting his hair really soon. You can see he has these dark brown tips, but he's very blonde underneath. It probably just shows up as like having little to no hair, but Tucker does have quite a bit. It's just very blonde. Not as much as your brother did, but you're so handsome. Yeah, look at that smile. What is that smile? Look at that smile. Ready? See those teeth? I think he's also getting these teeth coming next. We will see. I don't know, Tuck. What do you think? He says, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Most people say that he looks just like me. He's definitely, my maiden name is Gross, so he is definitely a gross baby. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're so handsome. Oh, happy too. Yeah. There's a water bottle down here. Anyone else have a baby who's obsessed with water bottles? Ah. Okay, say bye everybody. We love you. Oh, he does wave too, and it's the cutest thing. I don't know if I can get him to do it. Hey, Tucker, Tuck. Say bye. Bye. Bye everybody. Make sure you check out my Instagram stories. I'll get him to wave over there. Say bye-bye. We love you. Bye. Bye. Cutie boy. We love you.
So let me sing for you, like the birds in the mountains do, like a child who cries for you, cries for you. So let me sing for you, about the streets and the avenues.